Chapter 55. So, you just want to hang out and talk about life, or you got plans for being alone while the team is busy? Black Canary asked, teasing clear to her voice as she hinted towards me missing Galatea. Actually, while I was in the Fey lands, I did come across some news about a number of Kyrptonians still alive in the Phantom Zone. With a certain Kara Zor-El being there. My words shocked Black Canary, as she knew all too well what Superman's Kryptonian name was, so it sounded like it was some kind of relative of the big blue Boy Scout. And you didn't think to prioritize such information? She hissed and looked around as though scared an overly emotional Superman was going to barrel through the mountain to get answers. I just raised an eyebrow in response. The League has little way of safely entering and leaving the Phantom Zone, and even for me, entering the place is a very dangerous task, as the dimension itself is an eldritch hellhole that reflects reality in its twisted way. Things could go very wrong in the Phantom Zone that is unlikely to go as wrong in hell in comparison. I said, shuddering at the thought of awakening the cosmic entities that lay within the Phantom Zone. Look, Canary, I literally don't even know if the news is trustworthy, so I didn't say anything. But now, with my team busy for the next couple of days, I planned on giving it a try, as I don't want to try to find the team in the middle of the jungles of India during their mission. I explained, as it was well and apparent that with the team hunting a super genius villain, they were radio silent, as it were, so that they could get the jump on said villain. Black Canary bit her lip in thought before shaking her head. Alright, I understand why you were hesitant to mention it, but searching a weird pocket dimension alone won't be easy. Are you going to work with the League? She asked, and I shrugged. I mean, the only person I think could be of much use in tearing through and searching another dimension is Dr. Fate, who's on the League roster. If you guys have other contacts that can get into there and hunt down someone trapped in there, go on ahead. But for now, I am going to get cleaned up and eat some food that wasn't on a prison tray. Fine. I have other stuff on my plate, but I will be leaving a note with the League where you are going, as I bet you forgot, didn't you? Black Canary's voice followed me as I went into my little suite, and I couldn't help but chuckle, as Canary had already seemingly figured out all the team's psyche profiles and could guess what we were going to do in most situations. After taking a shower that would probably give mild burns to a normal human so I could wash off the prison stank and sweat from the fights and stress I was in during the prison, I then made my way through the empty Mount Justice and into the kitchen to see what was in the fridge. Eggs, bacon, hash browns, ham, cheese, and some barbecue sauce to make up a hearty breakfast bowl sounds easy enough, I muttered as I took out the ingredients, and then as I was pulling out of the fridge as per usual, I flared my Pesquasia to see if anyone was even in the mountain and if I was still alone, and my result surprised me. Batman, would you like a breakfast bowl as well? I offered, as I felt the particularly tainted soul was seemingly hiding under the breakfast table. There was a moment of silence, as though Batman was going to pretend I didn't know he was there, so I just awkwardly stood there in front of the kitchen table that the team commonly ate together at. Batman, I can recognize your accursed soul out of a room of thousands of other souls. I am not Superman, a thick table won't block off my soul senses, so come on. I said with some exasperation. I was here first as I wanted to speak with you after Hugo Strange was remitted to a League-specialized prison, but with Wonder Woman being busy dealing with another Amazonian enclave, we haven't been able to interrogate him yet. Batman spoke, surprisingly giving me more information than I needed or even wanted, honestly. And yes, I would like a breakfast bowl if you don't mind. Batman said as he sat down in a very seat Robin called his own. I nodded as I went about making the food, and for a moment, we had a companionable silence as the sounds of me prepping the food for cooking itself filled the kitchen before Batman broke the silence. Jake, do you even have any ambitions as a hero, or are you just existing in this world? He asked, and with a loud crack, the knife I was using to cut up some onions went through the wooden chopping board as a flare of irritation went through me at the thought of Batman just asking if I was just going through the motions in this drama-filled world. But as I looked up to retort, I froze as Batman had pulled back his cowl and was freely showing his face to me. Jake Barris, it's nice to meet you. My name is Bruce Wayne, Bruce said, nodding to me, and I realized that Batman was showing a fairly great deal of trust in me by so freely showing his true appearance, even if I already knew his identity. So, Jake, you got any plans? I meant no insult, young man, but I was curious. With your power, do you want to join the League full-time? Do you plan on keep having unprotected sex with Galatea, knocking her up and retiring to the countryside? Or do you have plans to even take over the world? Batman listed options, and each one made my face react with a rainbow of colorful reactions, especially the whole retiring to the countryside with the Galatea idea. First of all, Bruce. I will never take over the world. I can barely muster up the damned motivation to find matching socks in the morning, let alone do the paperwork and order a bunch of peons around. I said, seriously, making the billionaire chuckle as he nodded. Yes, that would fit your personality. It's far more likely for you to be a dimensional traveler like the stranger. Batman mused, and then I remembered those magical items I got from Snoutsboro that I never really got any use out of. Granted, I was always wearing the magical ring that protected me somewhat from magical-based mind control, but the belt of Hercules, that had the god of strength's blessing and would double my natural strength and durability, was never used, as I never met a pure match for myself in physical strength other than Wonder Woman, Superman, and I suppose Darkseid would be up there as well, but I won't face him for years if this timeline continues. Have you ever wanted powers? I asked, suddenly making the man's eyes snap to me with a laser focus. You can give away powers? He asked, folding his hands in front of his face to seemingly hide his expression, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was a sort of nervous tic with how revealed he was feeling with his cowl down. Nope, I said, honestly not sure if I could, but I didn't plan on letting my hollow nature run free through the DC universe either way. I reached into my reality marble with a thump I tossed over the belt of Hercules. Call this my investment in the League. That's the belt of Hercules that had the god of strength's blessing and would double even my own natural strength and durability. I explained before pointing at Batman with my spatula. I want you to have it, wear it every day, and protect Gotham with it, boosting your already peak of human strength. Or just throw it in a closet and forget it. Just sitting in the sand anyway, I muttered softly as Batman gently took the belt and inspected it. I heard Wonder Woman's people had a difficult past with Hercules. Will they or the man himself come after this belt? Batman asked, ever the pragmatic man, and I shrugged. Hercules has allowed his power to seep and bless the people several times, such as with Captain Marvel, and other blessed objects, but he didn't go to Themyscira wearing that belt when he was mortal. So, I think it shouldn't be an issue. I finished as I began bowling up the cooked food, and then I walked over to Bruce Wayne and pushed the breakfast bowl in front of him while I sat across from him. Why give this to me, and not Wonder Woman or even your team members? He finally asked as he stood up, and then further showed his trust by putting on the belt with the lion-embossed belt buckle glowing softly before fading. For a moment I just enjoyed the labor of my cooking as I ruminated over the question before I shrugged. Honestly, you are one of the most important League members, and you being well into the super category with that belt will only save more lives. Plus it could make a good gift to Robin at some point when he moves up into the League and you retire, old man. I jested, making Batman chuckle as he brushed his hand over his smooth chin. I am definitely feeling the years go by in this profession. Thank you, Jake, I will use this to accomplish my missions, but I won't become reliant on it. He seemingly warned me, and I nodded. Have fun with retraining your strength to accommodate your new strength when it comes to dealing with normal criminals. I chuckled, making the man's face twitch minutely at my reminder that the belt wasn't some perfect tool that would automatically give him the precision to use his new strength. Alright, Bruce, I am going to head out for a bit. I got a lead on Superman's hot younger older sister.